gamers, and welcome to episode 395 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for November 12th, 2022. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
It's been an alright week. Nothing. I'm trying to think of anything huge happened, except for the sad news you just told me, just to bring it down. Nah, man, I think it's been an alright week, but the sad news, well, actually you said, because you know more about it than I do, because I just saw it right now.
Yeah, it came out yesterday as of recording this that Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from the animated series, the video games, the Arkham titles, several DC animated films, as well as other characters, has passed away at the age of 66.
Oh man, yeah, that is pretty sad. And they didn't say how he died.
It sounds like he was battling cancer and succumbed to that.
Always the C word. Always the C word.
Yeah,
seems like
more and more frequently.
But yeah,
it
man.
Feels like.
I mean, he's the guy. When I think of like Batman, especially in cartoons, I always think of his voice, and I always think when I hear a new voice, I think like, well, that's not Kevin Conroy. It's Kevin Conroy. He need this voice. Not calling him a bad, but I always associate him as like Batman because of the animated series.
Yeah,
and like yeah. So when I hear like he's talking for Batman and like certain the new animated movies, really, I was thinking like, yeah, he's doing it. And then it's not him. I said, I hope this is good. I hope it turns out to be all right.
Yeah.
I didn't really like Batman's voice in the Gotham Knights one. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't particularly like it. So I'm glad he died. so I have to hear him talk anymore in there. But oh no, that wasn't his voice. That was Kevin Conroy's voice. That was another dude. That's all. Yeah, because it be misinterpreted. I'm glad he died. But no, Kevin Conroy, yeah, only 66, man. He's my dad's age, and so like they're he's not as old, but it's not old, man. It's not like you deaf. It's like deaf's knocking, like kind of age.
Yeah,
thing.
especially as we get older, it puts things in perspective. It's really not that old anymore.
Yeah, and Darren, man. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, but I had a lot of good memories of him and playing with other characters too. I don't know him, but I know he's probably did because it's like voice actors always seem to do a whole bunch of characters. So
yeah, he's definitely got a sprinkling of some other ones in here, but it's really kind of overwhelming how much he played Batman. Really, it really is.
And everything like any type like games, of course the shows, and just like little snippets of something you might hear like he's playing Batman. It's like, that's Kevin Conroy's voice.
It's multiverses, and
yeah,
it was cool to see him in, because they had him in the live action stuff on like the Crisis of Infinite Earth type stuff when they were doing that on the Warner Brothers shows, right, or the CW shows.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay,
I think they did. Yeah. That's neat.
All right. So I guess we'll get into sports real quick. So let's get down to it. Football. Washington lost last week. And so the Vikings are still in lost one game. Washington's want to play the Eagles again, the undefeated team. So maybe we might do the upset. Maybe we might pull the upset off. Just like we did against the Steelers when we gave them their loss. So maybe we'll do that to them, but I highly doubt it. It could happen. I mean, NFL is just one of those things, man. Yeah. It could happen because you seen good because the Kansas City, they lost to the Colts. The Colts suck. Like the Colts, they're not even good. Like you were thinking, like, oh, Colts might actually do something. Nope. they just had a good game that game, and Kansas City had a bad one. So maybe you might catch them. They have a bad one, and we will just have a good one. You got some big games this Sunday. You got the Packers and Dallas, which I don't think is a big game, but it's only a big game because of Aaron Rodgers. I think their team sucks, so that's why I don't think it's a big game. I think Dallas should beat them. But you know what? As I say that, watch Green Bay probably win, and it's like, oh God. They say, okay, I guess they just proved me wrong, or Dallas just sucks.
Yeah.
And then you have the Vikings playing Buffalo, which I don't know if the quarterback's playing for Buffalo, so that might help Vikings. But the Vikings, they're not world beaters. They're a good team, and I root for them, but they're not world beaters. They can lose. I mean, they can still lose, even if it's just Case Keenum back there, because they got weapons and they got great defense. So but it will definitely make it easier, I believe, for them if the quarterback for the Bills don't play. But that's a big game because that's the Vikings have a chance to prove themselves against a winning team. And that's one of the top winning teams, the number one team, in fact, in the AFC. Then, I can't think of any other games, but, there's a game in Germany. Tom Brady is over there playing against the Seahawks. So I'm really hoping the Seahawks beat him down, that he stays in Germany.
I was just saying, so bad that he doesn't come back.
Yeah, he can't come back.
He's running away from his problems.
Yeah, it's going to be in Munich, I believe. Okay. Every time I think of Munich, I always think of the movie. When they had, was it bombings or something like that? I always think like terrorists was doing something. That's only I always think of that.
Yes, the Steven Spielberg movie.
And anything else special about the game? No, nothing else really special. But I mean, Seahawks are doing great. I mean, they have the most improved player, I believe, in Geno Smith. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, if there was a comeback player, I think he should get that. Even though I know some people gonna say Saquon Barkley's getting improved, but see, here's the thing. I always get confused with improved because I'm like Saquon Barkley. He got injured, and so he was out for a year. Then he came back, and he's still good. I'm like, so did he improve, or he just missed? He just missed a year, right? I mean, he wasn't bad. It's like he was good before he got hurt, and he came back, and he's still good. But I mean, I wish there was a different achievement for that. Like, it's not really improvement because I think improvement is like, oh man, you were not that good last year, or you were good, but you just improved so much. I mean, the following year, like to me, I feel like Saquon is what we all thought he was before he got injured. Mm-hmm. It was just if anything, people might have had low expectations because he got injured, but that shouldn't be rewarded. It should be just reward. It should be said that you were wrong. You were just wrong to have those low expectations. But Geno Smith, I believe, should get it because I mean, this man. Shit, I forgot he was in the damn league until last year when he was backing up Russell Wilson, but nobody saw this man starting and doing well as he is now. Like, I mean, this guy, he is known for getting punched out in the offseason over like somebody owed him money or he owed someone money or something, and it was a fight, and he got a broken jaw, and he missed so many weeks of games because of that kerfuffle. That's what I know him from, and like it just hasn't really gone well for him. He was great in college, but now, I'm happy for him. Like I'm happy that he took over that team, and Russell Wilson is struggling, which is ironic. It's like, man, the guy that everybody thought Seahawks was going to be done because Russell Wilson's not there, and then Geno Smith comes in and he got them better than what they were last year. It's incredible. Yeah. They're number one in the West. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about football. Baseball, I already mentioned it, so that's done. Baseball's done. NBA, no really big news really out of there. The Wizards are okay. They're okay team. They beat Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. Luka was on a streak of getting like 30-something points a game in a row in this first whatever games of the season, and like he broke Wilt Chamberlain's records. I mean, most of the records for like that streak, like you look online, like the first 5 or something are Wilt Chamberlain. So he broke one of them. And then the top, he's like second. Luka's like second in that, but Wilt is so much ahead of the next record that I don't think anybody's going to beat it, and is definitely not going to win this. Like now, at the Luka just only got like 22 points in this game. But it's been the season is still beginning. Like it's still early. The surprises I don't know what's called surprise because Cleveland they did get somebody to make them better. I mean, they were okay last year. They got to the playoffs, but they lost. But this year they look like a top tier team now. So that's good for Cleveland. Post LeBron. The Lakers. I don't know if the Lakers did they even play last night. I don't know, but they suck. They still they're not looking good. And I keep hearing rumors about like, oh, Bradley Beal might go to the Lakers, and I don't like that. I don't like that rumor, Daniel. Like, I want Bradley Beal to go somewhere, but I don't want him to go there.
Yeah.
Hey, don't go to the team I hated for most of my life. Don't go there. All right. Yeah, man, that's it. College basketball started, so so far Maryland, I think they won all the games they did play. Maybe it might have been one. That's the only one I know of. But yeah, it just started. So some teams have like 2 games or had 2 games already. So that's cool. All right. So any wrestling news?
No, nothing worth mentioning. I haven't really been following stuff too much these last couple of weeks.
All right. So, hey, where do you put your mic at for volume?
What do you mean?
Audacity?
In Audacity, mine is at about somewhere between 24 and 18. Let me see if I...
Okay.
Yeah, like right in between there.
Yeah. All right. It just felt like it was going louder. I think it was there, but it just felt like it was going real loud. I don't know.
Could Skype be doing that, adjusting the volume thing, since all the other Skype stuff changed?
Okay. Oh, yes, it is. It is. Damn.
Skype is just fucking everything up.
Yeah. My volume might change now, people, because Skype has done an update. And now I turn it off, but it still seems like it's... Hello. I guess it's better. I guess because it was peaking a little bit higher. Okay. All right. So, I guess we get into what we've been watching. So, you didn't watch anything this week?
No, nothing that, at least that I remember. So, clearly nothing stuck.
Okay.
If I did see anything.
All right. I watched a series called White Lotus. It's a miniseries on HBO. There's actually a second season, but I believe that's like a whole new cast, but with maybe a few in there. I'm not sure, because White Lotus is a hotel that's in Hawaii, and it's about these group of people. They're not together. It's like different groups who going on vacation for a week in Hawaii, and they go through their stories, and it's like a dark comedy, and like it's like these funny situations that happen, and it doesn't get violent or anything like that. It is. I mean, there's some sexual stuff. That's by most of the length it goes to. But it's like about one group is a family, like a rich white family. One of the girl's friends is mixed though, who's with her, and like these are like very privileged kids. But the boy he's an awkward like teenager who's kind of like a incel kind of thing, and his sister, like she's like a mean sister, basically, and like, well, she just doesn't want to bother with him, doesn't want to see him. Like, she made him, because the hotel room they didn't get different rooms, like, so the girls like it's a bedroom, and the girls sleep in the living room on the couch, the open couch, and the brother, she made him sleep in the kitchen, and and like because there is a fold out bed he could sleep on, but that was supposed to be sleeping in the living room with them. But he sees the kitchen because she said she doesn't want to see him jerking off in the middle of the night. So, oh, wow. And then one time, like when the mother said she didn't want to sleep in the kitchen, well, you got to sleep out here, she made him go sleep on the beach. She said no, sleep on the beach. So that was pretty messed up.
Rough.
Then you got another one's a newlywed couple, but I think the wife is realizing she made a mistake marrying this guy because he seemed like a man child. And then you have this woman who's very emotional and like, cause her mom died and she's gonna bury her ashes out there somewhere. And it's funny. I mean, it's pretty good. It's only 6 episodes. They're hour long. It's It's a funny series. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Like, I finished it, watching it within the week. I finished watching it, and I was like, oh, this is actually all right. Because I wanted to try it out because I saw it was rated pretty high. And I saw it had a second season, but now I'm realizing, oh, it's a miniseries. So now I have to see if the second season is any good. Like, is it worth watching this one? I see some big names in there, too. But, yeah, it was a funny show.
Nice.
Anything else that I watched? A note? No, I don't think so. So I guess we get to what we've been playing. So you can start it off.
Yeah, so I played a little bit of Ghost Story. You were telling me about that last week, and I thought that
Ghost Song.
Yeah, Ghost Song. Thank you. Yeah, so it's basically a side-scrolling Metroidvania kind of thing with a relatively hand-drawn art style to it. I didn't get too far into it because I got stuck kind of quickly, or what feels like kind of quickly. I think like 30 minutes or so into it. And I just, something else came up, so I didn't get back to it. But so far it seems pretty solid. It's something that I definitely would like to continue going back to and see how it evolves later. That's what I want to see where it goes. Like, how do I evolve like stronger powers, kind of like a regular Metroidvania, or what? Because the weapon that you have when you start is kind of dinky. Like, it doesn't go the full length of the screen. You know, it has kind of a short distance to it. But it does have some interesting mechanics where, like, as you shoot your gun, your arm heats up because you basically have like an arm cannon kind of thing. And then once it's red hot, if you do a melee attack on an enemy, it does more damage. So I thought that was kind of cool. It definitely seems like it's got elements of like a Dark Souls thing. Like, you have kind of a corpse run thing where if you get killed, you can go back and get some of your upgrades. If you find your spirit and collect it again, because immediately kind of if you go to the left when you start out, there's this very strong enemy that kept killing me. So
that's how it works. You get it to a checkpoint and you can go back and collect your stuff.
Yeah, well, like, I got killed by that thing, so it just takes me, it takes me back to, in that case, it was the very beginning of the game, but yeah.
That's why I wonder, if you go deeper, are there checkpoints? I wonder if there are checkpoints.
Yeah, there was a save spot that I hit,
okay.
Yeah, a little ways into it. So they're definitely, I don't know how close they are. It seemed like I was kind of exploring a decent amount, and I had only come across that one, so I don't know if they're spread out a little more or what. But yeah, there's definitely save points. It doesn't seem like it's like roguelike or anything like that. But yeah, it definitely seems like a solid effort so far. I want to keep trying it out. You said you played a little bit of that again, right?
Just very little, though. Okay. Like, I didn't get too far. I just got enough to know the controls and shoot some enemies just to know how it works. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is something Daniel will really like. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing it. It's just, I mean, if I find the time, if that grabs me, I'll do it. Yeah. Because I'm really trying to find a game that really grabs me right now. And, like, so far, but I get into it, like, Gotham somewhat did grab me just because of, like, what it does. I mean, it has its problems, but for what it does, it grabbed me. And being is that it's not that long as far as the main story, that helped too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to save the God of War, or do you?
Yeah, we can save that till the end if you played some of that. Okay.
All right, so. Yeah, to the games I've been playing. So I'll start with Gotham Knights. So Gotham Knights, I did finish the story of the game, and the story, like, main story wise, I think is all right. It's an all right story. It's pretty good. I like it. I like how they go through the characters and how they felt about Batman, what Batman's done to them, and the interactions and how they're different if you play different characters in the game world, in the world of Gotham. I think that's pretty neat. It's just the combat is, it's not as good as the old Gotham games, and the progression system, I think it stops at 30, and I look like so they're like leveling up. It stops at 30, and the whole changing costume stuff. Like, I like changing costumes, but I don't like the whole managing. This thing is this equipment is this level. I'd rather weapons to be that. I don't want my costumes to be that. I don't want my armor. I don't know. I don't want it in this game, like an RPG type of RPG or something, you know, like a Dragon Age or something, that or like
Right.
something in that world or realm, or like Elder Scrolls, something like that, or you know, RPG. I like that. I mean, I want it there, and I know people say, "Well, this is kind of like the RPG-ish thing," but I was like, "Well, then that's not what I want for Batman, though." I wanted more action, and if the RPG elements is just like in Spider-Man, they're like that. That's what I want it as. Now, like I have some limitations because of my PC, so I can't get into graphics. I'm not going to go there with it. Yeah, doing the side missions and everything, they're all right. I mean, they get a little stale though. I mean, just like, but I feel like that gets to all those type of open world games where you get to like, well, you do a mission where you have to stop this bank robbery, and you do this mission. I mean, Spider-Man has that, but for Spider-Man, you know, it's a linear. I mean, the story is linear, and those things are extra. While this game, I mean, you could play it linear, just go through the story, but the game is really based on multiplayer. So you want to do these missions with other people. And it's just that these missions aren't that, I mean, they'll get a little stale, and then they feel too the same. And plus, I don't like the combat. At least with Spider-Man, I enjoy the combat.
Right.
I enjoy the combat of Spider-Man. While here, the combat is not that fun to me. It's really like at the point I just put a one-hit kill because I was like, I just want to get through this shit. I mean, I'll turn it off when I'm doing the story missions to make it at least feel like somewhat fun. But this is like, I just want to get the level up stuff, or to finish the mission, to finish the story of like, to help this person out, I have to help so many. I mean, it had to stop so many crimes in this sector or something like that. And I was like, okay, let me hurry up and get through that. I got it down packed with the transversing the world without using fast travel. Like once you get to a certain point of the game, you get a point where, like, you know how you use Batman to glide, he can glide around the city.
Yeah.
Well, these guys don't have that. Well, except for Batgirl, you have to wait to a certain point of the game to do that, which I think that sucks. But like Dick Grayson has like this drone where he can hold on to, and it kind of just flies him there. I wish you could speed it up though. That's the only problem I have. And they do have they have missions based on it, because like each one, I said this last week about each person has a different type of transversal, and they're not fun. But the only reason it's fun for me is because I turn the timer off, so I can get through those loops, get through those holes fast as I want. But I didn't really get the benefit. The benefit was that, oh, you get a nice skin for your bike, and I was like, oh man, I don't even drive that bike. I don't even drive the bike anymore. But there's like 4 side missions I know of. Unless there's some more, I ain't seen another one pop up. There's one where it's like a Harley Quinn one. There's a Mr. Freeze one. I'm trying to think of the third one. What's the third one? Or maybe there's 3. I know you do something with Penguin, but that wasn't. Yeah, but no, because with Penguin that was part of the main story. Maybe it's only 3. Okay, I only know of 3, unless I can think of the 4th one. The third was Clayface. There are Clayface and Mr. Freeze were really good. Harley Quinn, I mean, it's all right. I don't really like her character in this for some reason. It just didn't feel right. I don't know who the voice actor for her in this one is. It definitely didn't feel like Harley Quinn from the Arkham games. And like, this version of Harley Quinn, that was the only big one. I didn't really like her. But the Mr. Freeze and the Clayface side missions, they were fun. They were cool. I mean, especially like running through the city. I mean, it sucked on my PC because, like I said, my graphics sucked. But I can imagine looking pretty good when you were chasing him through the city and like Clayface is blobbing all over the place and shit. And it was like, yo, that was neat.
Yeah.
So it has its moments. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it's just some things I just don't care about. I wonder how this game sold. I don't. It's funny. I don't see it on Twitch. I don't see it like as for topped games of people showing off, even though it's multiplayer. But yeah, I wonder. Did it get this? Is it getting the sales it wants? But yeah, it's a little disappointing. I expected more. Like at the base level, at least the combat be fun. Like I just at least expected that because I was like, well, you just copied the Arkham games and you kind of improve upon it. You kind of improve upon what they were, and fix it in the setting of multiplayer. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. All right, so because I definitely would kind of recommend this game. Like you get for like $20 because I just want to know what more you can do in multiplayer. Like I'm thinking, like, man, the missions I see here, I'm like, this can get old pretty fast. Like I don't see me just keep coming back to this world doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The only like replayability is that you want to play with different characters. That's the replayability. It's like because I played with Dick all the way through the main story, so it had moments that was exclusive to Dick, really. That I can imagine. Like some moments I say, oh, it's gonna be something different from somebody else. So like that's it. Yeah. All right. So moving on. What else have I played? I played some Deathloop. I put that back up. I played like one run, I guess you would say, to like I don't know how you describe it. Like I got to a point where okay, it moves forward, the story forward.
Yeah.
Because you get like 2 retries, I think, or per run, then they start you over on that run. Yeah. And I think I died like once, but I actually survived it. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. Really, the story is what keep me going. The gameplay wise, it's okay. It's not great or anything. Like it's not that special gameplay wise, but the story is what's keeping me into it. Because I want to know what happens. I want to know what happened to this man and why is this a thing? Why is there a loop? Like I want to know the mystery of this island and these people. So that's really why I'm playing it. Yeah. Like gameplay wise, it's pretty bait. I don't know, man. It's nothing really spectacular about it. Maybe I might get some different abilities later on that I will really like, and maybe that will grab me. But right now, I'm not feeling it really. As far as that, I mean, I'm not feeling it any different than Dishonored or anything. Right. As far as like gameplay, the weapons I got, I mean, they were a little different. I mean, they're not just basic just shooting a gun. I think one of them, I forgot, some kind of energy weapon, but still does the job of killing. You know, yeah. I mean, it's nothing really special about it. I also played this new game. Well, it's been on preview, like early access preview, whatever, on Game Pass PC. But now it's coming out. They actually have a date of it coming out on not everything, because I didn't see PS4. Now I don't know if it's coming out on the Switch. But the game's called Vampire Survivor, because they have a release date for it. And I was confused because I was like, I saw that on Game Pass. Yeah. And then I saw like, oh, it's not on the console, so it's just on PC. So Vampire Survivor is a rogue game. You play as almost like a Simon Belmont or something from Castlevania. And you're just in this world. It's like pixelated, like Nintendo graphics. And you're in this level, and all these creatures just come after you. So they're pretty easy at first, and like you don't press a button to hit use your whip. Your whip automatically goes, so you kind of have to move towards the enemy if you want to hit them, but you have to time it right because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm so close, but my whip's not going to whip. You have to time your whip like how fast it comes out, like when you whip. But as you go on, you collect these gems, which you use to level up, and then you get other abilities. You might get your whip to come out faster. You might get an ability where you have a bobble that kind of circles you and kills enemies. And then you might get an ability where you have a wand and it shoots. And then all this is all automatic. Like, everything's automatic. You just have to move the character to position itself to do damage to the enemy so you can collect the gems. And then enemies get harder. Like, sometimes they take a whole lot more hits. I don't know some enemies, I don't know how many hits it take, because it looked like I hit them like 1 billion times and they still just moving. And I'm like, can they not die? I have no idea. But I forgot the highest level I got to. I know I got past level 10. I definitely know that at one point. And then these fucking slew of skeletons came and I just fucking got destroyed. But like this is a roguelite. so you start over again, but you unlock some things for the next run. It's like, oh, like you can use things to unlock. Say, hey, you'll get this ability if you level up, possibly, randomly, you'll get it. If you ever play other role games, you understand, you get it. It's the same type of system. But apparently, like, I guess this game is really big. Now, see, I just saw it like on Twitter recently, really, only because I was looking for it. Because when I saw, actually, Xbox put out Vampire Survivor is coming out, blah, blah, blah. That's what I was saying. Like, isn't it already out? But then I realized what I just said. And then somebody in the comments said, oh my God, this is game of the year. And I was like, really? This game is that good? Because I had looked at this game when it first came on Game Pass, and I saw those graphics. And
visually, it's not much at all.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
I was
DOS
like,
game.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm not really want to play that type of game right now. But I didn't really know what it was. And then, so I said, you know what? Let me go try it. If this fucking game of the year, this guy's saying game of the year, let me go try it. And it's all right. It can get me pretty addictive. I didn't play like hours. Like, I kind of stopped myself because I was like, I want to play, because I was playing this and I still had Gotham Knights. I was almost finishing that. It's like, I want to play that. Mm-hmm. And I want to, now this game is good for me to play, like if I'm watching a game, like a sports game. Like, this is pretty good to have that on the background, and I'm just rolling around and killing these monsters. And that is, and now, like, I'm thinking, like, man, that's a game I want to play on the Switch. Like, I would love to have a handheld Switch and play that. And I haven't said that for a long time about a game. Like, this is the type of games I wouldn't mind playing on the Switch, or something like a phone, but not my phone, because I'm always got to look at funny things on Twitter. And so I can't, I don't want to do that. Or I'm looking at some news and stuff on my phone. That's the problem. Like, I like the idea of having games on my phone, but I actually like my phone for the other stuff more. Yeah. And I don't, so I'm playing a game, I'm like, I gotta pause it and go to Twitter and look at stuff. So I like to do two things at the same time, and I can't do that. And I don't want to do it where I split screen or something like people do. It's like, because this screen ain't that big for that. It's like, yeah. So I wish I had, so I do want another handheld, and that's why the Switch is good. And I don't, do you see it? Do you see if it's coming out on the Switch or not? I'm not sure.
No news that I can find of it officially coming to the Switch.
But that sucks.
I would imagine it has to come out soon-ish.
How much it costs? Because I'm just playing on Game Pass.
$4 on Xbox.
Jeez, really?
Yeah.
$4.
It was even cheaper on Steam before it went 1.0. It was like $2 originally, I think. But now it's all the way up to,
I almost buy it. I think I should just buy it just to support them. I think I probably should just buy it.
Yeah, well, at least $5, $4.99.
Well, I'm just wishing if there was a Switch, I would I'd have it there. But yeah, it's a fun game. If you got Game Pass, definitely try it out. And especially if you like roguelike, you might like this. It might get you addicted to it. I did beat also AI Summoning Files, the Verona project.
Nice. Initiative.
And it was pretty good. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but the twist, like I said, the twist is a little cheap. But I like the story. The story was great, actually, but the twist, I felt like they could have done a better job. The thing is, it wasn't like I could figure that out. It was like, no, you made it so I can't figure it out because you made it a way. You made this. That was stupid. It was like, I mean, it wasn't. It's like it's not stupid, but it's just like, I don't know. It seemed kind of a little cheap twist. It's like you put things out of order on purpose. So how the hell would I know when shit happened? But the story's pretty good, and I wonder if they're doing another game. Are they going to start? What's going to happen? Like, I'm going to start playing as the girl. She's technically young woman now. She's 18. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to start playing as her, or am I going to be playing as a dude? I mean, I wonder what the next case is if they stay with this game. But it for those like digital novel video games like that actually has some gameplay and stuff. This is one of the top ones out there. The those two games, like between that and 999. Those are the big ones I know of. And I mean, Danganronpa, the first one I did like. Second one was all right, even though they got their fans though. Like Danganronpa, they be talking fans, but for me, they were okay. They weren't as good as those games. Like I really love the twist in those games, and the scientific stuff they use with to explain things I think it's pretty cool. What else we have here? And last and not least, I did finally play some Persona 5 Royale since I'm done with AI summoning files. And there is a little difference in the beginning, but it's probably more differences, but I haven't played the game so long. But I know one big difference is because that new character did show up at a point at the very beginning, and I was like, oh yeah, I said that must be a new character. So I said, I don't remember another person showing up in the beginning intro, like, well, it's not an intro, but the beginning part of the game, like learning controls and shit. So I was like, okay, so I want to know when she comes in to the story. But yeah, graphically, I mean, graphically it looked good. I mean, it does look better. I can tell a little bit, but it's not so better that because the way it's artistically styled, that it doesn't look that much better. But it does. I can tell it does look better on the PC. It's like I know it's like finer lines with the joins or something. You know what I mean? But I mean, I just played the very beginning, so I haven't really done much. I did get to the point where I did get my Persona and fought a little bit. So there's that, and then I tried out my cheats to see if they will work, and so far they're okay. I hope it don't crash or nothing later on, but this is what I really want it for. This is what I've been waiting for to play this game with cheats. And I think I'll probably make the game crash though, because I want to do it so I can do everything I want. Because in this game, you know, after you do because it goes by days, and when you do activity, time moves on, and I'm like, I want to stop the time so I can do everything I want and just break the game, but I'll probably actually really break it, and then it'd be like, oh no, it can't go no more because they don't know what the fuck is going on. But yeah, so that is it. That's what I've been playing. So I guess we'll talk about the big one that came out this week, God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, we got ourselves some PS5s.
Oh yeah. You know, Dominic, it's been extremely easy to get a hold of one this week from what I've seen. Like PlayStation Direct, I think even as of this morning, you could just go on there and order it.
Now I have to admit that, Daniel. Thank you.
What's that?
Now I have to admit that now I have to admit that I'm broke. Then that's why I didn't get one. Damn it. I can't use my excuse of like, I can't find it.
I can't find it anywhere.
Now nobody can know I'm poor.
No, you're just making a stance, Dominic. You're making a stance. Yeah, I mean, it's still hard to justify. I mean, that's my thing, is like, even playing this, like, it looks amazing still. It runs well enough that I don't feel like spending $400 or $500 is going to get me anything. It hurts my eyes,
Daniel.
What's that?
It hurts my eyes. It hurts my eyes.
It does it?
It hurts.
I mean,
that's
the thing too, is like, I'm also playing through my capture card on my PC. So I'm not playing on a 4K TV, so that might be...
I was about to say, yeah, you're actually playing it, so it's going to look a little worse. It's not going to look as good as... But it's not that much different, though, Dan, because I did the same thing. I played it on my TV, and I played it through my capture card. Like, just look on the PC, and it's not that much difference.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've watched comparison videos even, you know, PS5 version versus the PS4 version, and it definitely looks sharper and it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
I'm not offended by how it looks on the PS4, and surprisingly, like, my PS4 hasn't even so far gotten as loud as I remember it getting playing the original God of War for the PS4. So like, so
you know
far,
what? That's true. You know, I didn't notice the PS4 fan either.
I don't know.
I mean, I mean, maybe it was loud, but I just, like I said, it's not something I remember. Yeah. So I'm thinking it must have not been that I didn't notice.
Maybe we've cleaned our PS4s out much better since we played this.
Well, darn, I would think it'll be a whole lot dustier because I haven't used that thing in years.
Same.
Now, I mean, on top of it is dusty. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. That thing is just not even black. It is like whitish,
light gray.
Yeah, gray, yeah, something like that. It's a PlayStation.
Yeah,
PlayStation 1.
All right. Yeah, but to get into the actual game of it, like I said, it's beautiful. It's still doing the God of War thing that we saw in the first PS4 outing. It's doing the single camera thing. It's doing the Kratos and his son situation, and I'm enjoying it.
His son went through puberty.
Blown away in the same way. What's that?
So his son went through puberty?
Yes. The model on his son looks a little weird. Like his head.
It does.
Looks
now that
too
I'm
big
asking
or
you
something.
Now on the PS4, does it look being PS5? Does it look a little different? Because I was wondering, like, is this something that
this is
supposed
what's
to look like this?
The PS4 back.
like, is this something that's supposed to look like this? Because I was saying the same thing too. I was like, whoa, his son, something doesn't look right.
Yeah.
For him.
I think it's like his head's too big or something for the way his body is, but
you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't like what the mother looked like too in that flashback thing, in the flashback dream.
His wife looked bad. It's so this is weird because I mean it's been quite a few years now since I played the original one, but for as amazing as this game looks, and I don't want to feel like I'm getting too nitpicky about this so far because I'm maybe 40 minutes into it, but
that should be a compliment to the game. That most of the stuff with the stuff you have problem with is nitpicky stuff.
Yeah,
that should be that's true. Fine.
But like even the animations, like the dog sledding part at the beginning, like you're just nudging the stick a little bit and they like turn drastically. Like it's not smooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's how road dog sledding is, Daniel. You just don't know.
You pull on the chains a little bit and they just go, wah!
Yeah.
No, but that sequence was still very cool. It's not something I want to spend a lot of time doing necessarily, but it's like the setup to the beginning of the story and the reintroduction of Freya to the story of you murdered her son in the last game, spoilers, and now she's very upset about it still. Yeah, I'm not super far into it. I've gotten to like the first bit of combat encounters and the first kind of like big combat encounter against a bear. And it feels like more of that first game. I think there's a little bit of wear there for me where it's like, yeah, this is doing the same thing as that. It's not this big evolutionary step like that first game was, coming off of those more kind of action focused games from the PS2 and PS3 eras. So I'm here for the story, basically. The gameplay is fun. I'm not saying I'm not enjoying that, but I'm here to see where the story goes because I'm very intrigued by what this could be, especially with them being out there saying, before this game even released, that this is only going to be kind of a 2-game stretch as far as the story that they're telling goes with this. So I wonder what that means for this game and the franchise in general.
That's good for me because I was like, am I going to live long enough, or is the world going to be around before they get done with the story? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, you get to the bear fight?
Yeah, I got to the bear fight.
Okay. So that's where I'll stop at because that's as far as that's as far as I got. I walked a little bit ways back home, and then I just stopped and saved.
Same. Something. I think my daughter started crying or something, so I paused it, went away, and then I never just came back to it that night. So.
The bear scared her.
Yeah. Actually, no, that's exactly what it was. She was napping. She woke up. She came in. She was like, "Oh, you're playing a game. I want to play." And I was like, "This is not a game you should be playing." So I paused it, and then I just never ended up coming back to it.
I know how to kill a bear. Now the bear comes around the house, man. She ain't gonna know what to do.
Yeah, but then she's gonna be asking for a Leviathan axe, and I don't get the money for that, Dominic.
Yeah, the combat. Yeah, had to really figure out how I was supposed to block the bear when the yellow, because I was trying to read the thing at the same time while I was going to say, wait a minute, how am I supposed to play this? I forgot, like, how do I time it? And then I finally figured it out because I died quite a few times on that scene. But yeah, the combat so far, yeah. I'm not playing as fluently as I did last time because I haven't played it so long and still feels so new to me. But so far, all right. Yeah, I can't really say like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever yet. I mean, I haven't gone through too much. So far, I do like where it's going. I mean, it's going just as well as it left me off from the last one. I mean, as far as the story. So, I do like that. What's the hit name? That guy. I feel bad for him though. Or something? Yeah. I feel bad for him that he has to turn pages like that
with a spoon,
with using a spoon. Because then I'm like, the food spoon falls. What do you do? And it did. Like,
didn't he like spit it out though? I'm like, what is he like? Kratos is here. I don't need this.
Oh yeah, anymore. I guess. Well, yeah, he did spit it out. But that's what I'm wondering. It's like, oh, you gotta, man, Sid. I mean, it's good to still be alive. I guess. Is that a way to live? I mean, maybe he's happy. I don't know. And then when Kratos in the fight, I'm like, do you ever get like hit in something? Like from the back, like
I'd just be worried about sitting there having to smell all of Kratos' farts, or just smelling Kratos. Period. Like that man's not showering.
Well, hold on. I think that's why I think back in those times, I think people were used to that because I don't think a lot of people didn't shower in days.
Is it one of those things where it's like you're around it so much you don't notice it that it stinks?
Yeah, I mean, I think you would have to, right? Because those people didn't bathe every day. I just imagine like people travel, live out in the woods and stuff. It's like, do y'all go every morning to the water
river.
And river? Yeah, and bathe yourselves. It doesn't seem like they do that.
Yeah.
Or like people that like the military. Always wonder what they do.
Military's got the little like outdoor bucket shower situation.
No, but that's only if you come to base. I'm talking about like when you out in the field for days. Or like what they did like for days. You're not going back anywhere.
Yeah.
For a while.
I don't know.
So I mean, they maybe got some Axe body X, and then it's like they Axe spray. They
got Axe body spray everywhere.
Yeah,
that might be the worst option.
I always wonder like that when that bear swiped me. I said, "Man, is he hitting Mariners that guy's face?" He's like, they should at least have him like scream or something. Like,
he's getting me, brother.
But he can't. I don't think he can die. Because he's a
no. Yeah.
I think I think he's immortal. So, but I think he still can feel pain. Right?
I was gonna say, but his face can still be messed up, right?
Yeah. All right. But I can't even say that. So, not much I can say. Like as of right now, because I'm early in the game.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, it looks like as far as the dialogue and story and they had some early action scenes that look pretty cool. Yeah.
All still feels top tier.
Yeah, it's still God of War, and we're playing on PS4s, and we're not playing on PS5, and it runs like God of War did. So I don't know the excuses for these other games that say they can't be played, or they just say you choose not to. But you choose not to put our crappy game. We're just gonna put a crappy game on a new system instead of it playing on the old system where it can still play well. Yeah. I don't know. And just to think, so if COVID didn't happen, would God of War still came on a PS4?
That's a good question, Dominic. That's a very good question. I don't know, because I mean, theoretically, that's more work, so they're doing more work during the COVID times. But I wonder,
I should say COVID and the chip
shortage stuff,
shortage,
and just the general like inability for people to buy things, right? Yeah, because that's probably what it is most, right? Is like not having PS5s available. You can't have God of War sell 1 billion trillion copies if there's only 100,000 PS5s out there or whatever. I mean, obviously the number's higher than that, but
but yeah, exactly. So that's what I was thinking. It's like, what? I wonder that if there was PS5s were selling like how PS4s were selling, at least at the same point in time, well, they had God of War on PS4, and that I'm thinking they wouldn't, and I said, man, that's kind of fucked up.
Especially since they've proven now that they could do it.
Yeah. That, and with what was the other game that came out early this year?
Horizon
Zero Dawn. Horizon and actually I don't know. Horizon maybe, but I don't know. I have no idea. They might have able to said, they could have said something and then they can change their minds.
Yeah.
And then like, nah, because we feel like we've done so much more that it can't be put on the PS4. We want everybody to play the best game out there. Do some spin, you know.
I mean, basically, if they had the ability to have these games sell the consoles instead of, you know, having to sell the game where the consoles were already, then yeah, they might have definitely gone that route and said like, hey, if you want to play this, I mean, because that's what they were preaching. I mean, that's what Sony was preaching before this generation really kicked off was,
yeah,
we're making next generation games, and then they kind of had to walk that back a little bit for all of this stuff.
Yeah, the only next gen game really that like first party for them, well, two of them, is the Ratchet and Clank and the one with that woman on the front. I forgot. I want to say Medium, but that's the other game. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that sounds like it's coming to PC soon. I wish they would put Ratchet and Clank out on the PC, and then I would really have no reason to be interested in picking up a PS5.
And Returnal, I really wonder if could it be played in the last one? I mean, it doesn't look like it couldn't be put.
No, but I wonder if there's any element of like the way the gameplay is, if that would be an issue.
All right, so that is it for what we've been playing. So I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
All right,
and we're back, and now we're flashbacking to 2012. So this week in 2012, we got Angry Birds Star Wars has come out on the Windows, Mac, iOS, and the Android. So you got the Star Wars version of Angry Birds. It's like, oh, they license themselves out there. They're being whores. They're whoring themselves out there. And I played this one. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's all right. I haven't played a lot of it, though, honestly. But I did like it. I always said I want to play it. But with phone games, I never really do. Yeah. I never stick around really with them. But you should talk more about it because I think you played a whole lot more than I did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what the differences were between Star Wars and like space, because space added like the kind of different gravity planets and stuff like that. I know Angry Birds, Star Wars, they, you know, put skins on everybody. You had like a Luke and a Han and a Leia bird and Darth stuff Vader. Like that. Yeah, I mean,
did they have a Jar Jar? Did they have a Jar Jar in this?
Was Jar Jar in it? I don't recall a Jar Jar, but that doesn't mean he wasn't in there somewhere.
He should have been in Pigs, and you just shoot the Jar Jars at the.
That would actually be pretty amusing. Yeah, but this was kind of where I checked out on the series, because I think you said there was a Star Wars 2 also, right? At one point.
Yeah,
I think I was already out by the time that came out. So,
and that was discontinued. This game as of now.
Truly sad. The end of an era, Dominic.
Yeah, the license stuff, man. Yes, that sucks. All right, so Darren, we didn't do the blocking off of what I'm not going to say, so
I would skip down to that one.
All right, yes, Paper Mario Sticker Star, which I think is believed to be the most hated Paper Mario game out there. This game actually went on to be like less than, I think, $15 on Amazon. I remember because I was thinking about getting it when I had a 3DS. And then I saw why it was down $15 because people were saying some bad things about the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it got 75 on Metacritic, which is good. But for Nintendo standards, that's horrible. For a Mario
pretty much
for a Paper Mario game. Pretty good for a the Mario what's that the board game called?
Mario Party.
Party, yeah. But yeah, I don't know why people didn't like this. Honestly, there must be something wrong with this.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Reception. It says Junior favorite reviews, blah blah blah. Introduction stickers. Oh, the introduction of stickers received mixed reception by critics. Critics like the strategy of Manji stickers on hand. Philip Kohler of Polygon called the combat engaging and like how each battle had its own gimmick that invoked logic deduction. Jeremy Paris and 1UP praised Sticker Star's playability by saying the sheer playability of Sticker Star goes a long way to offset the moments of which your forward momentum grinds to a halt and you're forced to trapeze through old haunts for some arbitrary fetch quests. Okay, I'm trying to see a bad one. Okay, here we go. Jeff Grubb of VentureBeat criticized the use of stickers due to the lack of inventory space, being forced to hold onto certain stickers for later and constant backtracking to retrieve unattainable stickers. Graphics and world building were praised, and it was compared to the likes of Super Mario 3D Land. The game was noted for being just as unique as previous games in this franchise. Many critics were negative towards the removal of the multiple role-playing game elements, of which a lack of character progression such as experience points. Games Radar liked the change from traditional RPG content, but believed there was not enough of an RPG for genre buffs. Additionally, critics were disappointed in the loss of a proper story, but the comedic writing was praised. Other complaints came from the lack of difficulty in standard combat. Critics found regular encounter battles have little to no difficulty at all, with Eurogamer reviewer Rich Stanton believing that they don't think I was killed by a normal enemy once. On the contrary, boss battles were considered overly difficult, being called a nightmare, ridiculous, and inevitable. All right, so it has this. Yeah, I guess it seems like it has its moments. It
doesn't sound terrible.
It has its problems. Yeah, it sounds really terrible. But darn, for it to be like, I would like for that game to go have $15 on Amazon. I just find that was weird.
Are we sure like Ubisoft didn't publish that or something? That feels like the only way that game could go down that low.
It was published by Nintendo. Developed by Intelligent Systems, who did Fire Emblem and WarioWare and the Wars games.
That was when Amazon was being at its pettiest and like not selling Nintendo stuff. So they were like, we're going to deeply discount this game. It's got to be something though.
Oh, here's a big one. Thomas Was Alone came out 10 years ago. Was this the first release of it?
I believe so.
Yes, it is. And I didn't play it until it was free on PS3. When I gave it free the PS Plus. But I did enjoy that game. I didn't finish it. Always said I was going to go back to finish it. And I never did. Just like so many other games.
I can't remember where I played that game, but that game is incredible for like the simplicity of it, as far as you're basically just a shape and you're doing platforming and kind of solving puzzles, but it's also telling like this kind of engaging story at the same time.
I love that. Yeah, I like the story. That story element has really got me, because even though puzzle stuff is good enough for like some people, like me, I fall off those things quickly. Like I'll play and then that's it. Like when I get like that's the textures, like the Tetris game. I was like, this is really nice. Tetris effect. I was really nice, really into it, but then I just stopped.
Yeah.
And that's why I played this a whole lot longer. It was because of the story and everything. And I think I stopped when I was alone again. And I felt so alone, Daniel. So it hurt me. And I didn't want to play anymore.
Exactly.
I don't want to be alone again. But yeah, this was good. This is good. And this is made by Mike Bithell. And what is he known for before this game?
I think this was his first like big one, and then since then,
so this is
kind of become.
This is what made him big.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. What other game we got here? Oh, we got another big one: Black Ops 2: Call of Duty, sequel to the best-selling Call of Duty game. I don't even know what the best-selling Call of Duty game is now.
I don't know, but it sounds like this new one's selling pretty well. So it might be getting up there.
Okay. So Black Ops 2, it was a direct sequel. I did play this, and I beat in the main story. Don't tell me. Don't ask me what's it about. But yeah, it's I think it was okay what I played. Like as for the story, I mean, wasn't that memorable for me. But yeah, but it got a 83 on 360, 83 on PS3, 74 on PC. Yeah, I'm looking at here. I'm looking 9.3 is the highest from IGN. They probably had a cover thing on it, so they paid some money. And Game Trailers probably had trailers for it, of course, so they paid them money too to give them 9.4. Yeah. It's like, I was joking. I mean, hey, you like it, like it. Because Game Informer gave it 8.5. I mean, it got all decent scores. Yeah. Like, it's all got 8s or up. This is still at the time, I think, Call of Duty. It was still, I mean, sales-wise, still selling hell. Like, but with critics, it was waning, but it was still good. Like, it was still good for them. Yeah. It wasn't until they start being cynical. They weren't too cynical yet. Only some of them were. They weren't too cynical.
Now it's like, why are we playing war games?
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. I mean, I'd be reading those reviews.
There was a review like that on the latest one, and everybody in the comments was just like...
Yeah, because you...
Actually, I think that was Game Informer's review, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh, I didn't know. I saw it on Twitter, like someone was talking about a review.
Yeah.
And they always talk about like, oh God, can I get somebody else who actually doesn't have like some agenda or something to do this? Is like, oh God, here we go. Also, Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified came on PS Vita. I know nothing about this.
I think this might have been the first, like, we're doing a full Call of Duty in 3D first person on a handheld. And then it ended up not being particularly great.
Yeah, it's got a 33 on Metacritic.
Ooh, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, I'm looking for a decent score. G4 gave it a 0.5. G4 is still around.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so that didn't work out for them. So they learned their lesson. They said, nope, we ain't doing that again.
Yeah.
And what we got here? We got F1 Race Star. Oh, no. Why am I saying that one? I should have skipped that one. All right. Lego The Lord of the Rings, the video game, came out. I actually played a little bit of this, but this is what really got me off Lego for a while. Like, I was playing Lego games almost every year. I probably wouldn't beat them, but I would try every last one of them. And this is probably the last one I did just to try because they started talking. And I was very confused because I was like, Legos don't talk. I say they're supposed to be, pantomime and to show me things. Yeah. And then not only were they talking, they were just saying lines from the movies. It wasn't even their own dialogue. And I was like, I am not playing this Lego game that's just going to just repeat stuff that was in the movie. I said, I'm getting the hell up. Nah, this is not it. They say, I'm going to see them pantomime do a whole bunch of funny shit. I mean, which they probably, I think they still do. But just that having the dialogue of the movie and interpret it with this, I'm like, do your own thing or don't do it at all. Do like you did before. Like, were Lego games not selling? Well, like, were they dying or something? And then they say, oh man, we gotta put some voice acting in here. That's what the kids need. But yeah, that's what sucks for me. And I was angry and I was ranting online and stuff all there, saying like, yeah, they destroying Lego and everything. Yep. It says bad enough they don't do online co-op. They're only doing this to us out there. All right. Where we at here? We got Scribblenauts Unlimited on the 3DS. This is when now you can just do everything in Scribblenauts.
Yep.
You can make everything. You make penises and they'll just come around and just drop in and just do things. Like I don't know if you can do that. But I'm sure everyone has tried. Yes. That's probably the first thing everybody has tried. That and boobies. All right. But yeah, you tell me about this game, man.
Yeah, this one also, because it was on the 3DS Nintendo console, they also had stuff like Mario and Zelda characters and stuff that you could draw. I just always thought it was very clever.
Explain the game, because I didn't really explain the game. I mean, I'm just assuming that people know, but...
Yeah, so basically it's kind of a puzzle-solving thing. You're in this little side-scrolling world, and different characters are asking you to perform different tasks. And you can draw objects to make them appear, basically. So you can draw a dinosaur and then a a kind of full-fledged dinosaur will appear and he'll eat people or eat whatever you need, or you can draw a car. It's just very clever, allowing kind of a real level of freedom to solving these different puzzles. I thought it was a very clever concept. This is a game that kind of like shone bright for a very short amount of time and kind of since then has disappeared, because there were a lot of Scribblenauts games back to back to back pretty quickly, and then this was kind of the last big one, it feels like.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Has it now? This what's the last Scribblenauts game to come out? I wonder. Like,
it looks like Scribblenauts Showdown in 2018 was the last one, and that's a party game.
It's been that long? I thought it might have been something like that, like something that's like, just something thrown out there just to
put
get
on
someone.
the phone or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be a perfect phone game. I think one of these has come out on the phone at some point, but yeah, Scribblenauts doesn't seem like it would really fit with a party game as far as I'm concerned, but what do I know?
Yeah, what do you know?
Apparently a lot, because this game got a 5 out of 10 from Eurogamer. Wasn't scored by IGN. Nintendo Life gave it like 50%. Didn't fare very well, apparently.
Should do like a cartoon character. I wonder if the Scribblenaut guy gonna be in the WB Fighter multiverse.
That would be pretty alright,
Yeah.
I think the level of work they would have to do with like all the different, to like stay true to the character and allow you to do all the different stuff. I feel like that would.
They've done some level of work on these other things, so
That's true.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I gotta try that game out now, because I'm probably quite a few characters there now that I have not seen.
Yeah.
The multiverse versus.
It's fine. You're just gonna go back in and play as LeBron like you always did.
No, yeah, whatever. All right. So we got the last, maybe least, Wonder Book. Book of Spells came out for PS3. This is the, what is the
it's like augmented reality, magic book.
Move controller. Yeah. Oh, and I didn't know this is written by J.K. Rowling.
I think it's like tangentially related to, like, they gave him some money to say like, hey, this is part of the Pottermore kind of thing they were doing around that time. I literally thought
this thing was copying Potter shit. Which it is. It
was, and then they were like, also, can we put your name on it? That's all that is, Dominic.
Man, and I'm looking for the rating. 72 on Metacritic, so that's pretty good for a move game. So I think that's all right score. So that's all right. Darn, Jake. Yeah. What we got here? That's it. So that's it for 2012. Now we're going back 20 years, 2002. And we got Medal of Honor Frontline has finally come onto the Xbox's GameCube. It was already on the PS2. We were already having fun with this. I was already having fun with this during the summer. So I was laughing. At them. They say, oh, yeah, just getting this in November. But yeah, so they get to enjoy the Medal of Honor series for the first time. And we also got Shinobi. This is the reimagined Shinobi to finally come on the next gen consoles. Came on PS2. This was a game that was on the Sega Genesis. And yeah, it was just a Sega game, right? Yeah, it was just Sega.
Yeah, it was a Sega
because
game.
That was then. And it was a pretty hard like ninja game. I guess it was compared to Ninja Gaiden, I guess a bit. And I never played it. I never played this game. I read about it, about the new Shinobi game, and I was like, they said, "Oh, yes, it's going to be challenging." I said, "Oh, that's not me then." I said, "I don't like challenges," and unless I know I could get the game, there's a game shard or action replay code for it. That's what I had. I said I had to make sure. So then when it came out, now if there was when I got good scores, I probably would have gotten it. So I probably said, "Oh, let me see what codes you can get on Game Shark Action Replay," and then I say, "Well, I guess I'll be using that." But it got okay scores. Like it got a 71 on Metacritic, not bad, but at the time I was always looking for like 8.5s and up for me, especially nines and up, because I was like, I have limited budget because I only get paid like $5 something an hour at this ice cream joint. Yeah, let's see what's what people were as high on it as, because they were pretty high in the reviews. Like people, I mean, not the reviews, the previews.
Yeah. I mean, I remember not owning a PlayStation, but being like, that looks really cool, especially with like that red scarf and the way it trailed around and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, for that, like, it looked cool. Like, kind of physics like that were pretty cool back then. It says Shinobi's basic gameplay was largely praised. GamePro's Mike Wagan highlighted the Tate attack as cool and hyper-violent and praised the game's overall emphasis on head-on deception rather than stealth. GameZone staff writer Stephen Hopper stated that while some would want a bit more depth from a ninja game, I think the arcade-style gameplay keeps the game close to its roots. Okay, here's here. Critics consistently mention the game's high difficulty. The game was described as hellaciously hard. Yeah, that's a turn off for me. From Electronic Game Monthly staff, Chi Chow, and as Ninja Tough in the review for OneUp.com. Wagan cautioned casual gamers beware, noting that earlier Shinobi titles had not been as demanding. Hopper called it the toughest game I've played in a long time. Yeah,
oh my goodness,
that's a turn off.
Yeah,
definitely a turn off. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is not my kind of game. And then you want to give it a like just in 7 something, like 7.3. I see. Oh, 7.6 was a high score in GameSpot. Oh, Game Informer actually gave it an 8.
Okay.
Who reviewed that review? Warner Sidestop. I don't know. I have no idea. GameZone gave it an 8. IGN gave it 7.8. I mean, these weren't bad scores. The lowest score I see is Eurogamer. They gave it a 3 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
They can't get good. That's what it was, Daniel. That's all it was.
Apparently. They're struggling.
I mean, that's nowhere near that score. Nobody's near that score of 3 out of 10. Everybody was like 7. All right. Here we go. We got the Sonic Mega Collection came out for the GameCube. Was this the first release of the Sonic Mega Collection? Yes, it was. This was the first release. I got it when it came to PS2. No, it's not. No, I'm right. 2 years later. What the hell? And it come out 2 years later to the Xbox and PS2. So,
that's because this was shortly after Sega decided they were gonna work with Nintendo finally, and then they were like, we're gonna give you like Sonic Adventure and the Sonic Mega Collection for a while as kind of like an
but you know what?
thing.
The Sonic Mega Collection I got was actually better than this. I think I got more.
Boo.
I think there was more in that one. Because, Sonic Mega Collection Plus.
It wasn't first.
Sonic Mega Collection Plus, yes, was re-released as Sonic Mega. Yeah, that's why, yep. And it only cost $20. And yes. So yes, that's now I remember when I was like, yes, we finally got it.
The scraps because they felt bad for you waiting so long
I don't know
to give
what
it to you.
Extra games they gave us. We'll get there when we get there in 2024. we're still around. All right. But yeah, in this game, in the original one, you had Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and you have some unlockable games like the Blue Sphere, Knuckles and Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Flicky, Ristar, The Ooze, Comic Zone. Wow, Comic Zone. I know nice. Ristar. The Ooze?
Oh, yeah, Ristar.
I gotta look at that. Oh, the Ooze! Oh, my God, I remember that game. I remember the cover. I never played the game, though. I remember always seeing that cover. Flicky, I had no idea. I don't know nothing about this game. Was this an arcade game or something? I don't know if it came on Genesis. Yeah, I think it's just an arcades. I mean, I think, maybe it came on Genesis later or something, but I have no idea. But yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to see something. Think of something here. Like the price of this, I wonder what the price of this was on the GameCube.
I think it was $20 on the GameCube too.
Okay, it was still $20. Yeah, and that's a good price.
Yeah,
for something like this.
Now they try and sell that shit for $70. With
that's
fewer games.
I'm thinking about the collections I see with Sonic and stuff, and Sega games and everything, and they be more than $20. Now they ain't 70, but they be around 30 to 40 in some ranges, man. And
the Sonic Origins collection that came out this year, it was like $40, $50, wasn't it? Somewhere in there. That's what I'm looking for now.
Yeah, look that up because I know I bitched about it, but just for that's why I'm mad, because of
currently
something like
on
this.
Switch, the Origins regular is $40 and the deluxe edition is $45.
That's why I'd be mad at that, those prices, because I look at what I paid for years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, the worth didn't go up for these games.
That's not even taking into account like inflation and whatnot, right? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's not what, like, the worth they go up for these games. They actually go down. So why are we paying more for something I paid like $20 for?
Mm-hmm. Because they realized they could get it out of you, Dominic.
Yeah. All right. So what else we have here? Skipping all these games. The Simpsons Skateboarding. Here we go. The best Tony Hawk game.
You know, I know nothing
Simpsons.
about this game, but I felt like this had to be mentioned because what the hell even is this thing?
Who did it? Oh, Fox Electronic Arts did this. So they weren't really in the skateboarding thing. I think they had a game, but it wasn't that good. So that sucks because they only got 38 out of 100 on Metacritic. I'm trying to look at
When
the
I
best
look
score
for
here.
videos of this, the first thing that comes up, The Simpsons Skateboarding, the worst video game ever?
Yeah, I'm seeing like 5 out of 10 on Maxim as the highest score, and Electronic Gaming Monthly. Damn, even Maxim gave it a
Maxim
5 out of
knows
10.
bad.
Yeah, darn. Game Informer gave it a 1 out of 10, so I know why I never looked at this game. Like, I rarely see 1 out of 10s on Game Informer.
Yeah.
I rarely see games like 5 is usually the lowest. You see a few maybe lower, but not much. Darn, shame. You just sell your license. You could have just gave your license to Activision, man. They could have made a good game, man. Have like Tony Hawk's in The Simpsons, Cross Simpsons or something. Just like they did in that TV show for the 300th episode. I remember they had Tony Hawk. Yeah, Tony Hawk was on the 300th episode of The Simpsons. That episode sucked.
This game also came out a year after Simpsons Road Rage. Like, the good game. Like, how did you make this game
Hit and Run
after?
was better. Hit and Run was better than Road Rage.
Oh, was it?
That was the one you get out
okay,
the car.
that's what it was. Hit and Run. Hit and Run's the open world kind of thing, right? The Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
like,
Road Rage is open world, but it's just Crazy Taxi. You can't get out the car.
Yeah, that's what it was. Still, though, that game's better than this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it is. All right, so now we got a huge one for GameCube. Something that this should be the remake before they do 4, because 4 is such a classic. Do something that nobody talks about. Resident Evil 0, even though it was a bad game. This came out 20 years ago. This is before 1. This takes place before 1 with Rebecca Chambers. I was going to say Chalmers.
That dude that escaped from jail, whose name I have no idea.
Billy Cohen. He's Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid.
Donald Trump's lawyer.
I wonder what that is. That why they named him Billy?
Maybe
Billy the Kid. They say, yeah, just call him Billy like Billy Kid and put Cohen. But yes, as you explore the abandoned training facility for employees of the pharmaceutical company Umbrella. And yeah, you're on that train. I used to think I thought it took place all just on train the whole game, but no, you get off eventually. It was, and I watched probably most of the game, like through like a long play of it, just to see what it is. And it looks pretty good. It looks like just like a Resident Evil game, man. And I mean, and it's an interesting concept of you splitting between two people. You know, I would like to see a remake of something like that, like of this game, because it's not talked about a lot.
Yeah. It's crazy that they just skipped to 4 when 4 is like so modern already. They've been releasing it on things. I mean, I played it on the Switch, so it's available to play there. But like, I mean, you can even play that shit in VR now. But why? Why? When you have things like Code Veronica or this game that you could revisit and maybe get even more favorable.
Or Survivors,
views.
Daniel, Resident Evil Survivors, the gun shooter.
Oh yeah. I mean, we lost the Wii controls, Dominic, so we can't do those anymore because we don't have.
Actually, I don't know. It's like I think it's not light gun, right? Is that you can't hook a light gun to that? I think you just have to play use a controller.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
even worse.
But it had more than one. Hey, it had sequels. Somebody was buying it.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that was early like survival horror VR shit, yo. I mean, that was Resident Evil 8. That shit was Resident Evil 8, and they improved upon it a shitload.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, I mean, if you watch that game, yo, you'll think like, man, it's like an early version of Resident Evil 8. But I think you have to play it to know that it's horrible. Because looking at it doesn't really
looks fine.
Looking at it doesn't look horrible. It looks like for that time, it was like, oh, this is all right. But I think maybe gameplay wise, maybe it just sucks like playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was jealous, even though, because I probably would have bought it and just never beaten it. Like the Resident Evil.
I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think I bought that game at the time, and I don't remember why. Because I was very excited about the Capcom partnership with Nintendo and the exclusives they were bringing to the GameCube, and I bought Resident Evil the remake, and I feel like I remember at the time being super into that, so I don't know why I wouldn't.
Maybe because you didn't like criminals. You say, I don't like criminals. And you
Maybe
saw that
that's what
Billy
it
Corn
was.
saying,
I was like, I don't want to play as this guy. Maybe it was something to do with the switching, or maybe because when did Resident Evil the remake come out? Wasn't that just a couple of months ago, or was that last year?
I was about to say Resident Evil remake, didn't it come out before this?
It did.
Yeah,
but
I don't know how long. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, so maybe I was just still playing that or something, and I was just like, I don't need that right now. And then I was still a kid. I didn't have any money, so I was just like, oh, whatever.
I'm trying to see the date here. March 2000. Yeah, earlier this year.
Yeah, so that's
wow. Think about that.
Just playing
they
that.
Put 2 Resident Evil games out. Because even Resident Evil Remake, that's a new game. That you can't even say like, oh, they just kind of.
I mean, especially for people with GameCube, like how many of those people had PlayStations to even play that original game, let alone this new version of this game.
Yeah, they put 2 out in the same year. Think of those times, man. I'm telling you, man. If somebody can get a documentary on how people make games over in Japan, you're gonna see like it's probably a whole like grave site.
There's no such thing as crunch culture over there, Dominic. It's just culture.
It's just you do or die. You do it. You do as in you do it and you die.
That's why Kojima loves America so much. It's like I can come over here and take fucking 20 years to make a game.
I can't
but as it turns
imagine
out,
that
it doesn't
now.
take me that long.
Well, I'm just actually surprised that Pokemon is doing what they did. But then again, that's bullshit because that's a game that could be made like 20 years ago. So no,
they've had these in storage forever now. They're just finally releasing them. You guys think they're working on Pokemon games still, but nope.
All right, so that is it for the flashback segment. So we take a quick break. When we get back, we're to the gaming news.
All right,
and we're back, and then we're gonna get to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, there's not too much this week, but a couple of things worth mentioning. First up, we've got Control 2. It has officially been announced by Remedy now. We already kind of knew this was happening, and they're making several other games of the Control universe, but it is now official. No release date or anything like that. No teaser trailer, no nothing. Just they did put out one piece of concept art, but yeah, that first game's good. I'm excited for another one, especially because that first one kind of just ended with a plop as far as I was concerned. Granted, I didn't end up getting too far into the DLC, so I don't know if it expanded more in that stuff. But yeah, that ending was just kind of eh. So give me more. Flesh out that world because it was a cool place. And let me play with all those powers. Another one that got teased this week was the next Mass Effect game because N7 Day happened.
I always forget about that stuff. Like like that, like N7 or May the 4th. Unless it comes at me in the face, I never remember those days.
No, but this year they put out an audio transmission that needed to be decoded. and eventually people did, so they put out like the cleaned up version, and it's basically these two people talking to each other about how the council is not going to be happy about this, and they underestimated the power of human defiance. While there's like a picture of a destroyed relay, so people are speculating that like the destroy option was the most canonical version, and how you're going to potentially be playing as Shepard again and in this next game.
What? Now, question is that it seemed like in every, well, and two of them anyway, there was destroy.
Yeah.
But I gotta go back. But anyway, so I wonder if it's like, if it's the destroyed option as in like when Shepard was somewhat alive at the end at the little quickly, like he's breathing, because that's the one where you killed all AI. So I'm like, is all the AI gone? Which for me personally, I'm okay with, because as much as I like the Geth I liked is dead. So I'm like, well, I don't give a shit about the Geth.
Right.
Fuck them. Like, it's like they were supposed to be here.
You were supposed we're just solving the mistakes of the other people anyway. Tally's people. So yeah, I mean, what would you want out of a new Mass Effect game? I mean, you're a huge fan of Mass Effect. Andromeda obviously did not hit particularly well. Like, you don't need Shepard back, right? You could be. I don't need Shepard back.
No. Yeah.
Do you mind if Shepard's back?
Do I mind? That's a good question.
Like, are they going to be actively fucking it up by having Shepard there?
I wonder. I kind of don't. I kind of okay if. Now, even if he's back alive, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of dying a hero, but if he is back, I hope it's like him not doing a whole lot, because that should take a toll on a human, and he's like, go live your life, man. Go be with Ashley. Go be with Ashley and have kids. Go be with
Kaidan.
No.
Adopt some children. Adopt some Krogan children.
I do want it to be that you can be another alien as a main character, not just a human. I do want that. I want to have a story like Dragon Age, where you can be multiple races.
See, I wonder if that would scare them off, though, like opening up too many choices for people, too many paths they could go down if they gave you like 3 or 4 different races.
Yeah, just make it a long game. Just put the work into it.
Yeah, but that's expensive, Dominic, and recession and blah blah blah, and yeah.
Well, I don't think it should be a lot of race. Like, I mean,
like 3 max.
Humans, just do humans, Turian, and you might don't need to do the fish people. What their name? What the hell is their names? Oh my god, I forgot their name. Ugh.
Who was a fish person? Because I'm trying to imagine who you're talking about now.
Well, think of the 3 people on the council. There's only one other race. I'm not saying. Asari, Turian, Solarian.
Solarian. Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah. Maybe not do it. Or replace one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no. Y'all probably can
plays the jellyfish person. That's what I need.
Yeah, you probably can play 4 of them. I'm not including the smaller races.
No, of course not.
The lesser beings, I like to call them.
Can't even get a seat on the council. You don't belong here.
I mean, I do want to at least have that option, like to look from that story, from that perspective of them. I do want to have that type of option. That'd be pretty cool. But if I don't, if it's just human, fine. I'm fine with that. There's just something different. I mean, I just want a nice RPG in space. That's why I'm waiting for Starfield. I hope Starfield will scratch that itch for me, because that's what I want right now. I want a nice Western RPG in space.
I hear you. Yeah, especially because this is going to be a long ways off, even if Even if they're working, I mean, they are working on it, obviously, but we've still got Dragon Age somewhere in between.
Dragon Age.
Now in the release of this game.
I definitely want that too.
Yeah.
Dragon Age The Witcher. That's what it's called, right? Dragon Age The Witcher. Yes. It's called The Wolf. The White Wolf.
The Wolf of Wall Street, Dragon Age The Witcher. Yep. All right, Dominic. Next up, we got big news for Halo. The game is finally releasing on its, second year now? We are finally getting the Forge mode added and campaign co-op in that game, as it should have released with.
What's the date?
Blame COVID. It's out now. It was, I think, November 8th that it was the update.
I wonder is it like private? You gotta do a private session with co-op or something?
That I don't know. Thought I had the window up with the Bungie, not the Bungie, the 343 page, but Industries Halo update.
It should have been like a big deal. It should have been like a big release thing. They had commercials and everything for like they just releasing the game.
They really should. I mean, I'm only being somewhat fictitious when I say like this is the way the game should have released. That's the reality of it. Why are they only showing me September? I don't care about September. I want the November update. The winter update launch. Is this the one I want? Boy, is it my internet or is it the 343 website right now? Because this thing is going slow, Dominic. 500 internal server error. There's too many people playing Halo now, Dominic.
Missions are replayable once completed. Oh, okay, cool. I think that was a problem, right? Like you can replay missions.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I forgot about that part too.
Yeah, darn. For players who want to pick up collectibles they missed the first time, though, or maybe who just really like the action in one particular level or another, and 24 new achievements have been added.
Nice.
There are 2 new multiplayer maps. It's a new mode also called Covert One Flag, a variant on One Flag CTF mode that gives the attackers active camo while defenders are equipped with threat sensors. Okay, something different. The introduction of Match XP, also in beta, will continue to evolve Halo Infinite's progression, while the Winter Update Battle Pass offers 30 tiers of the rewards, and in case you've forgotten, does not expire. There will be 2 free events taking place in the coming months. All right, so it doesn't really tell me how the co-op works. Me, as in, like, how do you join? I'm going to assume it's private, though. Like, you have to invite people, which sucks because I have nobody to play with. But I'm glad for it finally be there, though. It's about fucking time.
Yeah. Now, we haven't really talked about it because I don't think there's been anything definitive, but there have been some rumors going around that, I don't remember the company, but somebody's working with 343 basically to make a Halo Battle Royale game. And along with that, that game is being developed on Unreal Engine 5, and that the next Halo game may, or I think there's even been talk of like the Halo Infinite multiplayer getting ported over to Unreal Engine 5, because apparently like the issue with fixing Halo and getting all its content updated and adding more content is that the tools themselves are actually really difficult to work with, whereas Unreal it's not. And now at this point it's becoming kind of an industry standard, so many companies are adopting Unreal over creating these proprietary engines. Like, do you think that could pump some new life into Halo? I mean, Halo has kind of struggled over these past couple of years, even with the release of Infinite. I know it was hot kind of immediately, but because that content spigot hasn't been turned on in the way that like a Fortnite or Call of Duty, whatever their multiplayer, their battle royale thing is, Warzone. Yeah. You know, where they're constantly putting out new content and kind of updating the world. Like, could that be what Halo needs to bring it back to life?
Maybe. I just wonder if there's space for like the battle royale people to come back to that. But I don't know. I mean, if it has something to draw people in, like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, and a lot of people join in, it could have that. Does it have that thing to really catch people? Does it have something in this game that will really catch them? That's what it has to be. It has to be like a mechanic or something where it will just catch people off guard in that, like, wow, this makes this so much more fun, like, than anything they played.
Yeah. It seemed like initially Infinite, their multiplayer kind of had that. Like, people were really talking that up when it first launched, and it feels like they just didn't know what to do to capitalize on that and keep people around.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yeah, that's what I was getting from some people who were complaining who did play it. Mm-hmm. That it was a lot. The content is just we need more. It's like, hey, where's the battle pass? They keep saying that. Yeah. Well, because I'm not into the multiplayer, so I'm not really looking at it. I was just looking at, hey, the single player was great,
right?
But it's also just single player. You just stop, and multiplayer players keep going. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just that they haven't caught that this generation, well, last generation, and technically this generation yet. Like what they had in 360. Like the height of Halo feels like it was Halo Reach for multiplayer. Halo 4, I think it was waning then. I mean, I liked it, but there was a lot of people waning on it. And then, like, what's got the Xbox One, I mean, a lot of people have moved on, but even some of the current people, thing is, you really messed up with the initial launch of the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
So that really messed it up, because that was huge. If Master Chief Collection came out like it is what it is now, or even somewhat, I mean, just without the few games they released later on it, but like without Reach and ODST, it had released just like it is what it is now, with the stuff they have. That shit would have been amazing. I wonder how popular would it have been now, then, with that, because it's so great now at what it's done. And that really messed up when people had a problem playing online. Because, I was having a problem just getting online. Basically, I was just playing the single player stuff. Because, I mean, that's what I mostly played. But I like the idea of, like, I can play on any map. And, man, that was horrible. Like, the servers and stuff were horrible. And then 5, I know people... 5, I don't know what the issues were with 5. I can't remember. But, I mean, I played the multiplayer. I was fine with it. But I don't know what the hardcore people, what they had a problem with. I know some of the people didn't like the idea of the running stuff that's kind of like Call of Duty, like modern shooters, even though I did. But there was some other problems that it's better for a person who's really into Halo multiplayer to really explain. But yeah, that magic of what you felt, especially like the super height of Halo felt like the pinnacle, the peak, felt like Halo 3. Yeah. Like that was it. And that was really because, I mean, Microsoft was a big help with that because they put so much money in advertisement. I mean, that game, the advertising for that game was just atrocious. I mean, it was just everywhere. And it made it like an event. I mean, it was an event. I can't think of any other game that has done that since. Made a huge event like that. Mm-hmm. What they did with Halo. I mean, I think people also looking at it like, is it worth it though? I mean, it's because some of these people have games that sell. It's like, there's no point in putting that money into marketing and an event thing. So there's no reason to. But they made that thing like it was a huge event. They had a huge party. I mean, it was just, I mean, it made it feel like that game was going to be huge, and it was. I mean, it was huge. I mean, it was like it was probably the best multiplayer shooter until November. I think November, that's when Call of Duty. I don't know what Call of Duty came either October or November.
Yeah, usually somewhere.
Modern Warfare. Until that came out, Halo was like the biggest thing.
Yep.
And Call of Duty came out of fucking nowhere. Like, it came out of fucking nowhere, and people were like, holy shit, this shit is good. Like, I was just amazed at the graphics for Call of Duty at the time. I was like, holy shit, this is the best looking game. It's because it's like, it looks so real. It's like, this game looks so real. Oh my God. And it's going 60 frames per second. Halo wasn't going 60 frames per second. Halo 3. Yeah, Call of Duty was like one of the only shooters I could think of that was going 60 frames per second in multiplayer. And in single player.
Single player, yeah.
So it was like, oh my God, this game looks so good. It runs so smooth. I was like, how did they do that? I mean, I think it's trickery with that, what they do. But hey, it works.
Yep.
It fucking works. And that, I think that was the beginning of the end. I think Call of Duty, well, not the end, I'm going to call it the end, but it's just that Halo wasn't the king. Like, it wasn't going to have that moment no more because Call of Duty came. And people were like, nah, we don't want no space shooter shit. We want this boots on the ground, you know, hoorah.
Hoorah.
Shooting terrorists. No,
Sometimes being the terrorist.
Yeah, so you know. I said a lot of racist stuff then, Daniel.
Oh my goodness.
Not to people, but I was calling people sand people back then.
Oh no.
We were fighting. You should remember. You was on my team. Huh? You was on my team. I was like, we gotta get the sand people.
Mute down.
I called them Jawas. I mean, that's so horrible. But yeah,
different times, Dominic. Different times.
Yeah, there were different times. This is before racism. Before we knew about it.
Before it reemerged.
No,
out of
but
the 50s. It's come back for us.
But yeah, I think that's really what it is. Halo got to find that magic. It's got to find something that get the hooks on them. They get the hooks on people and be like, hey, they enjoy doing this, and you can see people playing it. Like, I'm looking for me to see Halo on Twitch. I gotta go down the list pretty far.
Yeah. I mean, their name still gives them some cachet. Like, people get excited when that game's going to release that year, but it doesn't have a tail.
Yeah, it does not have that staying power. Right, no. All right. What other news we got?
All right, Dominic, we've got Netflix is out here announcing that they are working on a live-action Gears of War movie, which will be followed up by an adult animated series.
See, I more want the anime series. They should have changed that movie to anime series too. Like, I just know it's going to suck now. I was like, well, this is going to suck because there's no way in hell y'all going to put really a big money into it to make it look like it does. Oh my! I can't imagine. I know what the CG going to look like. I'm looking at the CG right now, Daniel. Just think of anything you saw on Sci-Fi Channel, those made for Sci-Fi Channel movies. That's what the CG is going to be.
Better than that, Dominic. It's got to. It's a big franchise. It's got to be better than Sci-Fi.
Well, Resident Evil wasn't.
I mean, Resident. Yeah, it's true. You're not wrong. But Resident Evil has been like a proven poorly received franchise movie in the past. So like, this is a fresh start. They can do this with Gears of War. There's got to be CG in The Witcher. How's that?
Which is okay, but because it's more down to earth kind of. You know, those monsters are. Those kind of folklore monsters. Like,
I'm now thinking about it. You're talking about like all of the locusts that you're talking about the entire enemy side that you're gonna have to either get people in makeup, which is even more expensive than CG, or pay people to do good CG, which is also more expensive than
like the Halo CG. Show on Paramount. That CG, it wasn't great. It was okay in space. Because, you know, the darkness of space and ships. Yeah. But when it got to, like, the ground, daytime, seeing the aliens, no, it wasn't great. Yeah. I mean, it was acceptable for me. I mean, I was like, I knew what I was getting into. But I can't, no. And, like, if you think that's bad, I mean, if you think Halo's bad, I can't imagine them looking better unless they put a lot of money into it. And why would they do that?
They better do some like Pendulum War stuff or something where it's humans on humans before they get into...
That's where to go. They do that. That's boring. I mean, I hope it's... I say it's boring. I mean, hopefully it turns out good. But I really want Locust. You know, I want the Locust.
Nah, absolutely.
I want them
that's a core aspect of Gears.
Yeah, show us how the Locust mate. I need to see all that stuff. I need to see all.
That's the HBO one, Dominic. Show me how the Locust take a shit. That's the HBO one. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Cliff Bleszinski is out there again because he just put out his memoir, his book talking about, you know. That's what he's calling it, man. I know it's a fancy term for a video game man.
I'm just saying that because that man is very open, like on his Twitter about shit, and I'm like, man, it's like what more are we gonna learn about you?
I'm intrigued to check that book out just to see. I was reading some of the reviews earlier, and it sounds like maybe it doesn't get as in-depth into some of the stuff, like the development of Gears and stuff, as much as some people would want. I think that's kind of what I would want, because like the surface level stuff we know about. I want to know about the behind the scenes
the surface level stuff, the bedroom stuff. We all know about that. Because that dude be talking. I'll be thinking it's a fake account. I'll be looking like, oh, somebody got a fake Cliff Bleszinski account. And I was like, oh shit, this is really him.
Somebody Twitter blued Cliff Bleszinski. Nope, he's out here talking about butt plugs, Dominic. Yeah, so Gears of War. I know Dave Bautista has been out there forever now, you know, trying to get the role of Marcus Phoenix. We will see if Netflix is willing to shell out the money to get him.
You finally get it, man. When the series is dying down, I don't even know when the fuck Microsoft here announced the goddamn next game.
Nope.
Shit.
No. Well, maybe the next game. Well, Netflix pumps stuff out so quickly. Like this announcement is happening now. I would not be surprised if they have a movie ready for next year. So I don't know if that could coincide with a new game or not. But I guess we will see. Microsoft has so many games like on the burners right now that they need to get released so they can start talking about other stuff.
I mean, I give it to those what they call them, the PlayStation people, play slaves or something. I don't know, but they I give it to. I mean, they do got something to that about like everything's coming out. All the great stuff is coming, but it's just not here.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It seems like. And the stuff I thought was great, as it gets closer, I realize, it's not that good. I don't really like it. Scorn, it's not something I care about.
Yeah.
Well, there's another game that came out. I can't even think of it because it probably wasn't that good, and I now don't even care about it.
Deathloop.
But yeah, it's quite a few. Yeah, Deathloop could be one. But then again, that was a Sony. Technically, this is before Microsoft acquired them.
Yeah, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. God, what do I want to watch? I'm sorry, I'm trying to find something to put on TV here.
The Gears of War movie.
Yeah, I wish. I wouldn't mind just watching it and crying.
Like you said, though, the adult animated series. After the Arcane series, like I'm down for more of that, as long as you can provide me something at that same level of quality. I would be intrigued to watch that. All right, Dominic. So in other news, we had a Nintendo Indie World event on the 9th of November with a ton of games, as they always present in these direct style videos. I'm just going to run down these relatively quickly.
I didn't even know they had an Indie World.
What's that?
I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah. So we'll just run down these real quick, and I'll kind of call out the ones that I felt like were more or less interesting. Venba kicked off the show. It is a narrative cooking game. It's about a woman who migrated from India to Canada, and basically it's a cooking game where there's also like story elements of her trying to connect with her family through learning old recipes and recreating them and things of that nature. It has a nice art style to it. Looks really nice. It's a very kind of chill, vibey kind of game. That's coming out spring of 2023. After that was Goodbye World, which I did not put a description of and is not sticking out in my head right now as a thing that I remember. That is coming out November 2023.
It's about suicide or something?
What's that?
It's about suicide?
There was some kind of like darker element to it, and I put November 2023, but I think it is November 23rd. So that game is coming out pretty soon. Let me bring this up here. Oh, that's what it was. It's a game about two people who are basically indie game developers, and you're trying to work on what appears to be like a Game Boy platformer game. So there's a little bit of that as a puzzle platformer, and then there's elements of like the outside world of them dealing with the struggles of them having to create this game and work a second job to produce this game and things of that nature. It definitely seems like it could have some kind of despair elements to it, but it doesn't seem like it's that bad, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't come to that point where the game just is not successful and everything falls apart. After that was Have a Nice Death. This game has been out for a while now on other platforms. It's the one where you play as Death. It looks kind of like a Metroidvania, and I was super into it. And then I found out that it was a roguelite, and then I was like, okay, I'll play that eventually, but that seems fine. That's coming out March 22nd, 2023 to the Switch. So the Switch is finally getting that. That seems like perfect place for that game. After that was Aka, which is you're playing as this red panda, and he's apparently a former warrior who was kind of settled down on this island.
You're a red panda? Get out of here. Red pandas ain't no warriors. Only the black and white ones are.
These are vicious. I've seen Tekken. But yeah, basically this is kind of like a Stardew or a farming simulator kind of thing. It doesn't seem like the farming element is necessarily like the main aspect of it, but it seems like that's an option for you to do on the island. They also said there are like quests you can do from NPCs around the world. So that looks kind of cool. That's coming out December 15th, so that's out relatively soon. After that was Pepper Grinder. This is a side-scrolling game where you play as Pepper, and she has a large drill called Grinder. And the way you move through like the terrain in this is really cool.
So you don't really play as a Pepper Grinder? Okay.
No, you don't play as a Pepper Grinder. It's a very sneezy game. Yeah, so there's like softer terrain, it looks like, where you can use your grinder, and you just kind of float through it. Yeah, it's a 2D side-scroller thing, yeah. Yep.
Oh, is it like SteamWorld Dig or something?
Sort of, but far more fluid. Like, it's almost like you're swimming through the stuff as you grind through it. It's not as tile-based. That looks really neat. I think that's a digital Devolver. What's the word I'm looking for? Not developed, but not produced. Maybe produced. Published game.
Okay.
And that's coming out 2023. You have Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. That's coming out in spring of 2023. That's more Coffee Talk, which is that kind of narrative-based choice game. After that was Oni Road to the Mightiest Oni, where you play as this like little, I think it's like a evil spirit, but it seems like the evil spirits are coming after you because you're not an evil spirit anymore. And then there's another spirit that's helping you out. It's kind of like a 3D action game. And that's coming out March 9th, 2023. After that was Desta, The Memories Between. This is what they described as a character-based roguelite metaphorical ball game. Basically, you're in this person's dream, and you're like going around and doing almost like XCOM-style battles from an isometric perspective, but instead of like attacking people, you're like having conversations with them. Look like kind of a cool concept. After that was A Space for the Unbound. This takes place in rural Indonesia, and it seems like it's kind of an adventure, kind of puzzle solving, point and click-esque game, but you're basically these people that are trying to find their way in the world, but also there's some like supernatural power.
Kind of reminds me of the Coffee Talk. It's just that you actually can play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it actually some gameplay elements to it, but it's it's got that kind of visual novel stuff in there as for like the talking and stuff like that. Yeah, but there's a lot of gameplay. I mean, it looks all right. It looks like it could be something interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that's coming out January 19th, 2023. After that was I forget how they pronounce this. Dordogne or something like that, because I think it's French. This game is beautiful because it looks like a watercolor painting with some slight animation over top of it. Basically, you're playing as this woman in two periods of time in her life. One when she was younger, kind of at her grandmother's, I don't know if it's like a village or something like that, but like her grandmother's home. And then later she returns after her grandmother has passed away, and you're kind of trying to solve clues and put things together that your grandmother left behind. That's coming out spring 2023. But visually, that just caught my eye because it's something I hadn't really seen anybody else do before, even when there have been games where they kind of use the watercolor element, but like this just looks like a watercolor painting. It's very impressive. After that was Botany Manor. This is a plant-based puzzle-solving game, basically a first-person, in the vein of like a Gone Home or something like that,
or what's the game the developer I don't like? What's the
Jonathan Blow?
What's that game called?
It is why am I blanking on it? Not The Median. John Blow.
The Witness.
Yes, The Witness. Exactly. Yes, it very much looks like that, where it's like first person, also like subliminal or something like that. Basically first person puzzle solving, but this is going to kind of focus around plants and nature elements because you're a botanist. All right. After that, Dominic, was Once Upon a Jester. Now, this game is actually out now, and it's created by like a group of musicians, apparently. And it's basically like you're a part of this traveling play show, and you're getting like all these options. It seems like the game is a lot of timing-based stuff as well. But then you're getting like narrative elements where you get kind of moments to improv. And they said that's kind of how they developed the game, was like they were just riffing and coming up with stuff. It looks kind of cute.
I'm looking at the developers now, or the musicians or whatever. They talk about it. Yeah, it looks like the game I like with the cat.
Night in the Woods, yeah.
Yeah, Night in the Woods.
Definitely gives me some of those vibes. Yeah.
Horrible looking people.
They do look very odd.
No, but they look like the little puppets, which they do show. They have these puppets. They're like, they look like drawn by a kid or something. Kind of thing.
Yeah, it definitely has a unique look to it. After that was Rogue Legacy 2. We know what that is. I've talked about that a little bit in the past, but that is out now on the Switch. Side-scrolling roguelike.
That's out now. So is that out on PC also?
Yeah, that's been out for a while on Epic Store. I don't know if it's also on Steam or not. But yeah, that's out.
I might just start with this game, just roguelike, just to see how I like it.
Yeah, there's no need to like go back to Rogue Legacy 1 or anything like that. After Rogue Legacy was Blanc. We had seen this before. This is about a wolf cub and a fawn, and they're working together to solve puzzles and kind of move around the environment. It's black and white. It looks kind of like hand drawn.
I know how that's going to end.
Those cowards! They won't have the balls to just do it the way it should go. That's coming out February 14th, 2023. And that's going to be a console exclusive when it launches.
Oh, this is what I want to try.
All right.
Wrestling Quest.
Yeah, so there was a demo out for that as part of like the Steam Summer thing. I downloaded it. I never got a chance to play it. I don't know if it's still playable or not. It's on my desktop still. But it looks pretty cool. It's basically like an RPG set in the wrestling world. You've got basically a Macho Man stand-in that's kind of the...
I saw a statue of Andre the Giant. Something like a look-alike.
It almost looks like they somehow got like the rights to these people, but I don't know how they're getting away with some of this because I don't think it's an officially licensed product. But that looks pretty cool. That's coming out May 2023.
They'll say no. That's You said, wait a minute. What was the other guy? What's the wrestler you said?
I said Macho Man.
Macho Man. Yeah. Well, Macho Man, they can call him Bonesaw or something, and
then they get sued by Marvel.
Oh yeah, shit.
Or Sony.
Sawbone.
It's Sawbone. Sawbone will get you. Yeah. All right. After that was
wherever he was in that movie, Princess Bride.
There you go. Wobble Dogs was next. Wobble Dogs Console Edition is coming out November 17th. I had to look this up because I did not understand what was happening from the video. Apparently, according to the Steam description, it is a 3D pet simulation where you raise your own personal hive of mutating dogs, physically simulated all the way down to their guts. Because I definitely saw some like bacteria and stuff that they were messing with during the gameplay video, and I did not understand what was happening. Still not sure that I understand based on that description.
I don't understand. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird looking.
It looks very weird. Yeah.
It almost looks like it's got that kind of physics based, like I don't know, maybe not Ghost Simulator, but something where you wobbling, like it's not just simple, like it's kind of hard to control kind of thing,
right.
like
a QWOP or something like that.
Yeah,
that online running game. Where it's like you weren't just controlling something, like there's a system in place that moves this thing and it just isn't quite right. Yeah, so that looks very odd. After that was Storyteller. This is coming out March 23rd, 2023. This is what is described as a reactive puzzle game. And it basically, it gives you blank pieces of a storybook panel and then gives you different elements to add to it, and you can solve these puzzles by adding them. Like they give you a man and a woman and a villain and then like a gravestone. So it's like, oh yeah, you put the man and the woman together in the first panel and they're in love, and then the second panel you put the gravestone with the man's face on it and the woman's sad, and then in the third panel you put the villain and the woman together and they're like, oh no. So it looks like a really clever idea. I wonder how they kind of expand on that. I think there is actually a demo for that on Steam right now when I looked it up. So it might be worth checking out. After that was World of Horror. This is coming out summer 2023. It is a black and white roguelike horror RPG as they describe it. And it reminds me of like one of those old school dungeon crawlers where you're in first person view. And you have like a little tiny screen of what you see in front of you, but then there's like all these stats on the side and like people talking to you and stuff. It looks very unsettling, that's for sure.
But those only any jump scares can happen, so I can probably play.
They'll figure out a way, Dominic. Don't you worry. After that was Curse of the Sea Rats. This is coming out early 2023. It looks like
when I saw this, I was thinking of a book I used to read by Brian Jock. It was Red Wall, the Red Wall series, which is about mice, and there are sea rats, and like the mice are the good guys, the rats are the bad guys, and like all woodland creatures have like a good and bad, And yeah, and I was thinking, like, is this inspired by that? Because I was like, this is kind of similar to that kind of thing. I mean, it's definitely different because it looks like it's just mice and rats, and then the snake power. I don't remember them having powers in that book. Like, not in that way. But yeah, it looks a nice little side-scrolling game, and the cartoon like has those cartoonish graphics. Like it looks like a like one of those like old type of movies, cartoon movies, like kind of.
Yeah, it looks like the Great Mouse Detective almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, that looks cool. It looks like it might have multiplayer too in it. Yeah, so that looks cool. After that was Inscription. That's coming out December 1st. That has been out for kind of everything at this point. That is the card game that maybe turns into other things at some point in that game that a lot of people were talking about last year as kind of a game of the year contender. So that's cool to finally come out on the Switch. I wonder with games like this if it'll have touchscreen controls. Like, it feels like the touchscreen on these Switch is underutilized in a lot of ways. And a game like that where you're mostly messing around with, at least as far as I'm aware, the initial part of the game, like where you're just moving around cards on a table and stuff like that, deck building stuff, like they should definitely let you use that.
Yeah. I see that. Definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Just like this game you're about to say now, right? You're going to say what? Little to the left?
Yeah, a little to the left. This is a puzzle game where you're moving stuff around. It's OCD the game, basically. Sorry, what were you saying?
I said it should definitely be a touchscreen.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Hey, how
I didn't even think about that.
Do you have like your voice on your mic? Because you said you never can hear me when you're talking, but I can hear you when I'm talking.
Oh, weird. My voice doesn't come through my mic. It's just I can't hear you over myself talking. My voice in my head is too loud.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have your voice come through your mic?
No.
Okay, because I know a lot of people like do that and like that because that way they can hear like their levels and stuff like that. But for me, it's distracting. So
yeah, I mean, I can imagine, especially I can imagine how that work. Maybe I have to keep trying it. I'm curious how like going through a whole thing, hearing my voice.
Yeah, but yeah, that game, like you said, would be perfect for touch controls, and I wonder if it does. I feel like it has to, because like otherwise that's a game I would very much just want to play on the PC and use mouse controls, very much like Unpacking was like that. This is what that reminds me of.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm gonna get this game because they're cat people.
They are very much cat people, both in their kind of developer interview and even in that game, which I think the cat aspect of it in the game looks kind of fun because it's like, I
think it's I think it's messing you up, right?
Yeah, so it's very like, this is a very calming, like, I'm just going to rearrange these things. But then the cat comes in and is like, fuck your shit.
Like what a cat does. Exactly. They're horrible.
Exactly.
They are horrible, rude creatures.
Yep. They very much are. All right, Dominic. And then the big news, Sports Story is coming out. They don't have an exact date yet, but in December. That is the follow-up to Golf Story, which I think both of us enjoyed quite a bit. So I'm excited about it. What do you think?
I'm looking at it now, like, because this is the first time I'm seeing it, and yeah, I'm excited for it. Even though I didn't finish Golf Story, I was at the end, and it was too hard for me, so I just watched the ending on online, and I was like, I beat it. But I did enjoy that game. So
I would imagine they've got to address the difficulty, because that was a complaint I saw in a lot of reviews. So hopefully this will fix that for you.
Yeah, hopefully it's like an easy mode or something. Like say, hey, ball automatically goes into hole.
Fish automatically gets caught. My biggest problem with this game is who is calling fishing a sport. Come on.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I don't consider that a sport either. I don't either. I'm like, look, you fish for whatever reasons, except for competitiveness. I think that's, or like you can be competitive, but it's like, hey, we're eating it. We're eating this afterwards. We ain't throwing this shit back. It's like, but that's a different life for me. Like I never thought of fishing and throwing back. Like I was a dude who I used to work with who did that because he said he never really fished and took the fish home to eat. I said, what? I said, what the fuck you do? And he said, I do it for like the sport, man. I catch it and I throw it back and I throw them back. And I said, the fuck? I said, I ain't never been fishing whenever we threw. One time we went fishing, we threw it back is because it was too small.
Yeah,
and you legally could not have it. Like and that was the only reason. And that was only if the that's the beach patrol, or whatever.
I was gonna say if the ranger was around or whatever.
Yeah, it's or like he just didn't want it because it's just too small. It's like you can't get no meat off this shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, I ain't never fished my life through a back. Like going fish. I said, I know they do that in sports, but yeah, I mean, I always thought it was like just something people do in the ocean when they catch those big ass fish and shit,
right?
Like a swordfish or something. I don't know. I mean, even though
sometimes some of them eat those too.
Well, they do. But I'm just saying, I've seen it where they throwing it back. I thought it was something like that, but yeah, I was like, nah, man. I always seem like to catch them, especially when I used to not catching them. I'm used to not going play and not catching shit. That'd be pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my only concern about this game is just like, how are they going to be able to handle the diversity of sports that they're introducing in this well enough? Like, I liked Golf Story a lot, but their golfing mechanic could have been improved quite a bit, and I would have happily just played another one of those, just another golfing RPG, if they had improved their golfing mechanic a little bit. So,
what other sports are there in this?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I saw the fishing. I think basically like tennis. I'm trying to think back to the original like debut trailer of this. I think there was like soccer stuff in there as well.
So football or basketball?
Sports. I don't think I've seen any football style stuff.
Gymnastics.
Yes,
NASCAR.
They're doing a floor routine. Let's see. Sports story. All right. Raise your sporting rank to unlock a varied activity. Unlock new and varied activities like BMX, mini golf, cricket, volleyball, fishing, and more.
Oh God! So the non-black sports.
What do you mean, Dominic? BMX is heavily dominated by black athletes.
Oh my goodness! They know what they're doing.
Black metal militia.
They know what they're doing. They say we gotta make something for white people can win.
The and more is in there for you, Dominic. The and
more. The and more. That should have been included in that day.
Yeah. So we'll see what else they have. I'm very excited for this game. I'm happy that it's coming out as soon as it is.
They didn't even give it baseball. They got cricket. They didn't even do baseball.
Cricket, Dominic.
They said, nah, we don't want those Caribbeans to beat us either.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so that is the Nintendo Indie World Showcase they had for this past week. And that is also the news that I saw, Dominic. Was there anything that maybe caught your eye that I didn't see?
Nah, nothing, man.
All right. We will go on to new releases then, Dominic. First up, we just mentioned them a little to the left. That is also out on PC.
Oh, so that's out now. Okay.
Yep. And also Once Upon a Jester is also out on PC and in addition to the Nintendo Switch. And of course, Rogue Legacy 2, also out now on the Nintendo Switch. Another one not in the Indie Showcase, but releasing on the Nintendo Switch this week is Sifu. So if you were interested in playing that, but did not have a PlayStation or a PC to play that on previously, you can now check that out on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if that's coming out to the Xbox anytime soon, because that definitely...
They're waiting for it to have it by themselves so they can say, hey, we got Shifu on Game Pass.
I was going to say, that definitely seems like a game they would want to try and get on Game Pass when it does come along to the Xbox. We also have Among Us VR, Dominic. It's time to stab people in the back in VR.
I don't know if I want to pay for it, though. Not for that price. I forgot what the price I saw for it.
I was going to say, how much is it?
Honestly.
$60.
No, I don't know it's that much.
No, it can't be
$20?
It's $10 on the Quest.
Holy shit. Maybe
it's
I
only
can
$10 on Steam, too. So, not too bad.
I don't know if I like it, though. I wish it was like, hey, you could try it a little bit. You know, like a time trial. Just try it online. Just for those kids will make me cry or something, man. And I'm like, oh. I don't want to play anymore.
All right. You also have Tactics Ogre Reborn for the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PS5. That's out now.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Tactics Ogre. So that remake of it, that's good.
Yeah. We also have
God of War. Is it a remake or is it a remake? Whole total remake of it?
I think it's I'm trying to remember if it's
Remastered.
I know it's a visually upgraded, but I don't know if it is like fully redone or if it is just like a prettier version of it. It is game features improved graphics and sound as well as updated game design, bringing a new life to Tactics Ogre, remaining true to its roots. Yeah, it's definitely visually upgraded quite a bit, but it's not a full like remake of the game. Yeah, the game was pretty nice actually. God of War Ragnarok, we talked about that earlier. PS4 and PS5 runs pretty well on a base PS4. You know, we're not even playing on pros, so good on them for pulling that off. Seems cool.
Yeah, and my beard has disappeared. Even in the last game, my beard kept disappearing.
I remember that. God, I hope that happens to you again. Or me. Like, I don't care. I want beardless Kratos. They should just, if that was like a known bug in that game, they should just make like an option to turn that on or off. That would be
because it wasn't like it looked horrible or anything.
Yeah.
It looked like he
it's
just
not
shaved.
Like they didn't model his face under the beard. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You just see through his cheeks.
Oh God! Oh my God! You see like lips and nothing, it's to the jaw. Yeah, it's so weird.
And then you have Sonic Frontiers, Dominic, the biggest release of the week for the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series.
It is it's the biggest week because because it's on everything. So combination, but I mean, it's got like 70 something on Metacritic, 71. I forget what it was. But I mean, it's not horrible, but I mean, it's nothing new that like impresses me. Like it still looks like an empty world, and they have those little bonus stages. And they talk. I mean, they've been talking for a while, but I'm not used to Sonic talking, and I'm still not used to it. I will never be used to it. I'm not used to a pink Sonic girl. I'm still not used to her.
Leave baby alone. She's been sucked into this digital world, and she doesn't know what to do. Yeah, everything that I'm seeing is kind of mixed on it. Like it's not a horrible game, but it's also not a particularly good game. And it's just like they're taking elements from a very early open world game and making it into Sonic when we are well past that time period of open world games. Like we're in open world games where there's actually things that happen as opposed to just bland, empty worlds around you. Kind of piecing together these like far more interesting bottle levels. You know, it's weird. One day they'll get it, Dominic. Maybe.
You ever had the Shakaroni from Papa John's?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
How is it?
It's fine. It's just a pizza with more pepperoni on it and very big. Well, it's not.
Oh, so it
it's
is
not
big.
Very big. It's bigger than it's bigger than a normal large. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I was thinking like, man, is it really that big? Okay, go ahead, Shaq.
Yeah. He's taking over, Dominic. Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing special. It doesn't add a special sauce or crust or anything like that.
I mean, it's $13.99. I mean, that's a decent price in today's.
And I think that's why I got it, because it was like, oh, it's bigger, but also like on sale for basically cheaper than if I bought 2 mediums or something like that. So, yeah, you know, Papa John's, the place you go when there's a deal.
Yeah, that's the only time you go. It is a deal.
Granted, I don't really have any option to go like Pizza Hut. Well, I mean, obviously I could stop by there, but they don't deliver here. So anyway, I normally stick to my Aldi pizzas at this point, Dominic, because they're just cheap and convenient and pretty tasty. They're not too bad compared to DiGiorno ones. So,
anyway. I mean, yeah, you compare to DiGiorno. Yeah, I think DiGiorno has gone down though.
Really?
I don't think they're the same as when I used to have them. I think ingredients changed for almost everything now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just that the DiGiorno pizza, I mean, they're all right. I mean, I like them, but I also had the freaking off-brand Walmart pizza, and I'm like, I I'm not tasting the.
It's hard to tell the difference.
Oh,
The
difference, yeah.
difference
I'm
of
like-
like $2 or $3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 or 3. Hold on. DiGiorno might be more than that. Because look, the basic Walmart, not even the Sam's Club one, is $4, $3.99, and
Yeah.
DiGiorno, the
Regular
cheapest DiGiorno I
prices.
see, it's like 6 or 7. I think it's
Yeah.
7 because I think it went up. Because
It's
they went up
closer
in
to
price.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually
I remember-
don't
I
get
remember
them
when
unless they're
DiGiorno-
on sale.
Within the last 10 years, not even 10 years ago, but within a decade, DiGiorno was 5 something. DiGiorno
Yeah.
basic without stuffed crust and everything was 5 something dollars. I don't know where you find it 5 something dollars.
Yeah, it's got to be on sale. Like you can, yeah, maybe not $5. You can find them for like a little under 6 maybe. But it is few and far between. Yeah, because I'll tell you, like the regular DiGiorno's aren't my favorite, but the pizzeria ones with like they're usually like square ones. I like those a little better. I feel like the crusts are better on those. Yeah, but those are my pizza thoughts, Dominic.
And you gotta get that pizza maker.
I don't have the capacity to want to make pizza, Dominic. Like it's bad enough that I have to make other foods. Pizza is for when I don't feel like making a food. And I just want to throw a thing in the oven.
Oh, yeah, I put up a post on Facebook, a meme of like when you're hungry but you have to cook, and it shows the Donald Duck meme of him getting up and then going back to sleep because he realized.
Same Donald saying.
Yeah, it's like I hate when I get to that point, and it sucks as I do it to myself. Cause I'll get groceries and I eat all the stuff that I don't have to cook, and then I leave with stuff I have to cook.
Yep. And now you're only left with the things that you have to cook.
Yeah.
Even though when you're buying them, you're like, all right, I'll make this one this first night, and then I'll give myself like a day off break here, and then and then you're just like, nope, I'm having pizza tonight because I went shopping today and now I'm tired. Being adult is hard, Dominic. All right, so you got anything else for the week, Dominic?
No, I'm good, man.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at RegulusMB. Podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. And until next time, guys, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you guys.